So good morning to Shakti Flow. Let's take a comfortable seat and allow the eyes to close. And as you do that, it shuts the outside world away just for a moment so that you can go inward. Feel and sense anything that's going on the internal body. And most of us, when we sit, we place the palms down just from habit. So I want you to turn the palms up and just notice any shift that happens in the front of your body. Breathing in and out through the nostrils. Feeling the belly expand on the inhale and contract on the exhale. And we play with these two energetic systems all the time. One is our physical body, the density, the grounded, the stable, sometimes too stable, sometimes too dense. But we live in a physical body that we can touch and feel. And then we have this other energetic internal body that we can feel and sense through the nose, through the breath. And that has a quality of lightness and ease and flow. The yogis call it sthira and sukha, steadiness and ease. So we play with how to move and be in this dense physical body while we expand and feel light and effortless. Allow the hands to come to the heart, holding any intention of why you came to your mat today. Creating this awareness, this deeper awareness of feeling grounded and dense, and also feeling lightness and flow. May the practice be exactly what you need this morning. Take a nice deep breath. And as you exhale, you can release your hands and open your eyes. No, good, Ruth came back. All righty, so let's start standing. We'll start in Tadasana first. And I forgot to turn my monitor on. So now you guys are little squares. And what I want you to do is unmute yourself if you have a question, because if you put it in the chat, I won't be able to see it. So starting in Tadasana, traditional mountain pose. And I want you to just get in your body. Again, feel the denseness of your body and the shape that you live in. And finding that palm forward energetically opens the front of the body. And it just allows you to have more awareness, more physical awareness. Lift your toes, engage your legs by pushing your feet into the floor. And when you do that, can you feel this lightness start to happen in the upper body? So it's another great way to feel it. Soften the press in the feet. Can you still keep the muscle engagement, but not do it so hard? And this is how we walk around pretty much all the time. On your inhale, bring your arms up over your head. And as you exhale, bring your hands to your heart and take your step a little wider. Turn your toes out and sit in a little, I'm going to call it a chair, but it's kind of fluid and easy. So as we inhale, we rise up, straighten the legs. Exhale, soften the arms and come back down, hands to heart. Inhale, come up. And adjust your feet, remember, so that your knees track in the direction of your toes. You can see that my knees are going a little bit past my ankles. I don't worry about that so much anymore. I'm just thinking about the knees lining up with the movement of the leg. One more time. So reach up, get taller, and then exhale. Let your hands land on your legs, lean forward, lock your arms And lift your tailbone, head, and eyes for cow pose. Exhale, tailbone, head down for cat pose. So inhaling and lengthening, and exhaling and contracting. Keep going. And so we're trying to move the spine here without getting anything else involved. And you can lock your hands around your legs, lock your arms so they don't bend. And you've got a nice structure here. All right, on the next time you go through cat and cow, find neutral. Press into your left leg and twist and look over your right shoulder. And as you do that, push your left leg away. And then come to center and switch. Push against your right leg and turn around and look over your left, pushing your right leg away. Inhale, center, do it again. Exhale, push. Inhale, center, exhale, push. And use your breath here to move you from side to side. Inhale changes you from one side to the other. Exhale allows a little extra turn. You can think about your shoulder dipping forward and down while your hips dip forward and backward and down. Good, last two. And breathe. All right, the last one we're gonna do, starting from here, take your left arm up and over, reach over, come into a lateral movement, and then sit into that squat, get a little deeper. And then up and over, right arm, left arm, sorry, and down. And you're just moving in and out of this. Go where your body says it's okay. So your legs might be wider apart, your legs might be closer together. If your knees are feeling, I'll use the word sticky, I wouldn't worry about that too much because you might need to have that fluid movement around the knees to loosen it up. But if there's pain, that's a different story. Up. And let's do one more. Now, as we sit this last time, where are you? Are you lower than you were before? And then take your hands to the floor, fingertips light, square your feet and lift your sitting bones up. So finding a forward fold with your feet square. And if you have more mobility, you can walk your feet wider apart, bending one leg. So we're similar action, just a little deeper, come up and over, and bending the other leg. And up and over. So when you're going from side to side, I want you to sit your hips back behind you more, so you don't really need the weight of your hands. And over. Now stay on your right side, pivot yourself around into a lunge, and allow your right hand to come to the sky. Easy twist, take a breath, exhale, hands down, pivot yourself back around to center. Make sure your feet are square and then go around to the left. Taking the hand up to the sky. As you exhale, hand comes to the middle of the front foot, step back and find plank pose. Right away. Let your fingers be really active here, so you're gripping the mat with your fingers. The more you shift your weight forward, the more your arms are taking the action. And then hover your knees close to the mat. Try to keep that knee bend and stick your sitting bones up into the air like you're doing a funky dog. We worked on this one, I don't know, a week or so ago. So I want you to think about this bent leg, and as you straighten, you're going to push with your feet. Push to come into the plank. You're using your legs to do that. Let's do it one more time. Bend the knees, funky dog. Push with your feet or your legs to come forward. Good. Release knees to mat. Come into a tabletop position. Dog, cat and cow here. So tailbone high, heart high, eyes high. Exhale, flip your feet, push with your arms. And you're just getting everything warmed up. And push. Last one. Tailbone, heart and eyes high, let your shoulder blades melt down your back. Exhale, push with your hands, getting your shoulder blades way apart. and then find a neutral position. Once you take this intention of a little bit more effort in your hands, so you can stay here, this will be the easiest. I'm gonna walk my hands 1 hand distance forward and shift into more of a plank-like position. You can do either or. We're gonna come down on our elbows, come down on our elbows. Right hand presses up, left hand follows. Lower left hand, elbow, lower right, press left, press right. So find what works for you. So if you're back here with this table, it's going to be easy. If you shift forward, it's going to be a lot harder. Down, down, up, up, down, down, up, up. One more cycle. So you're just trying to alternate your arms back and forth. And now go down and stay down. Now you're in a forearm plank. You can put your hands together if you like. And you can stay on your knees, or you can turn your toes under and lift up off of your knees. And lift your hips up a little bit on purpose. Take your tailbone down, engage your belly, and then find your plank. Breathing here for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Allow your hips to land, point your toes, and either stay in Sphinx pose or push yourself up into seal. So giving your spine a little bit of a massage here. Exhale, lower down. Slide your hands right next to your rib cage. So they're not up by your shoulders, they're back. Elbows squeeze together. Lift your belly and then push. See if you can come straight up. Find downward facing dog, however you like to do it. Alrighty, so taking yourself down onto the mat. If we're in tabletop, I want you to take your right elbow forearm down. So you're crooked here, and we're gonna work with the left leg. So right arm's down, left leg's gonna work. You're gonna stretch that leg back behind you and turn it sideways. So the toes are facing your left, if you're with me. And you're gonna take the knee towards this front elbow, this bent arm on my hand, and then stretch it back behind. And touch, and stretch, and exhale, and stretch. Now think belly in, and stretch. Good, now we're gonna add a piece. We're gonna lower the foot to the floor, go down, and up. Now touch the elbow, and up, and touch the floor, and up, and touch the elbow, and up. Last 2, and up, and touch, and 1 more, and up, and touch, and up. Good, release. Come back to your table. How did that feel? If you're tight, it's gonna feel hard. I like doing those every once in a while because they're not weight bearing, so you've got that range of motion. So now you want to take your other arm down on the left if you're with me, right hand's on the floor. Stretch back your right leg and turn it sideways. And the knee that you're on, you want to stay pretty straight up and down. Don't lean over backwards. Take your knee to your elbow and then push it away. Be very purposeful. Knee to elbow. Push it away. If your knee and elbow don't touch, exhale belly, squeeze it in. That's part of your core body working. Exhale, squeeze 1 more time like that. And then we add the touch. So bring the foot to the floor, lift, and then touch and open. Bring your foot to the floor and touch and open. So we're moving through a big range of motion in your hips without standing on your legs, but you're using gravity to help you. And down and up. 1 more time. Down and up and up. Good. Release and come to center. Turn your toes under. Come up on your fingertips, lift your knees, and unfurl yourself to a forward fold. Soften your knees, soften your throat, soften your neck and shoulders. Now allow your hips to drop towards the floor like you're sitting in that chair. Come up on your forearms to get your spinal alignment here. So we're going to try this without weight. I want you to be in this shape. I want your spine to stay this long. You're going to drop your arms down. From here, you're going to open the arms out to the side. I'll turn so you can see. Wrap your arms around your shoulders. But the key here is that you don't change your legs or your spine. Everything stays straight. All right. Next time we wrap, we stay. Push through your feet, come to standing. Good. Relax. All right. We're going to do that last move with weight. I would highly recommend you use a lightweight. This is a big shoulder move. We warmed up the shoulders by being on our hands. So now we're going to work the shoulders a little bit. So we're going to come back to that stance again. If you need to come all the way down like this and do that, and then just hold that and come down here, you can do it that way. I want you to find that spine. Keep those legs bent, and we're going to open the arms and cross and touch the opposite shoulder. Open the arms, cross the opposite shoulder. Nice and smooth. Lift your toes and stay in your legs, not in your back. Core body's engaged. Out and in and out. So my palms are basically in neutral position, knuckles to the ceiling, palms towards my shoulders. Last two. And one more. Good. Wrap your hands, keep them here, and stand. All right, we're going to do that one more time, but I'm going to give you a break in the middle. So take a minute. All right, so shoulders. Going to start with the hands in front. You're going to open, let's do one arm at a time. Open one arm out like you're going to hit your knuckles to the wall behind you, and then come back down and do the other arm. This is external rotation, so it may or may not feel good. I would like you to try it with the light weights, and if that doesn't work, do it without. Okay, now try both hands at the same time. Open and close, touch. Good, open and close and open and close. Good, you don't want this in your neck. Think about your shoulder blades squeezing towards each other, not up towards your ears. One more time. Good. All right, relax. Bring your elbows right by your side, hands up by your shoulders. Bend your knees and come forward so that your body's parallel to the floor. I care less about your legs at this moment. Press your hands back and turn your palms to the sky. So you're going to just bend the elbows, push, and now drop the arms straight down and push. Bend the elbows and push. Drop straight down and push. Bend and push. Down and push. So working on the back of the arm here, triceps. Tri meaning 3. It's a big, large muscle in the back of the arm, which is why it gets kind of saggy and baggy. So we need to be clear about the muscles and how they work. If this is easy, like I've got this 3-pound weight, I could do this all day. But if it feels easy, that's an indicator to you that you need to, next time, maybe do a heavier weight. Okay, let's bring the hands back up, back to your shoulders, stand. All right, we're going to do that open lateral thing again. One more time, only this time, instead of your palms being together, I want the ends of the weights together. So your palms are going to face your body. So you're not this way. Can you see that? All right, so come to that squat. You can start with the forearms on your legs. Drop your hips down. And then drop your hands down, but put the ends of the weights together. From here, you're going to do that open and crisscross, and open and crisscross. Try to be in your legs a lot, like really drop down in your legs. You're trying to work your legs at the same time. Core body's engaged, open. So your thumb side of the weight now is touching your shoulder, and the pinky side of the weight is coming towards the ceiling. Can you feel how that's different? And crisscross. All right, 2 more. All right, so let's take the weights and put them on the floor. Straighten the legs up because that'll feel good. Maybe straighten one leg at a time. Don't try to straighten them both at the same time, especially if you've got super tight hamstrings. And then go ahead and find your downward facing dog. Take a moment while I adjust myself here. Downward facing dog. Alrighty, and then come on down onto your knees. Leave your toes turned under, but come up onto your into a kneeling position. Toes stay turned under, knees under hips. I want you to think tailbone down and belly in. So you don't want this arched position. You really want to keep this toned. Take your arms out in front of your shoulders on your back. Now I just want you to start to lean backward like you're going to touch your shoulders to the wall behind you. And you're going to find an end range where you can't go anymore. When you come to that, lift up and reach. Exhale, come back. Core body's engaged. You're leaning back, leaning back, leaning back. Inhale, come back and reach. So this works quads, core body, front of the body. And trying to increase your range just a tiny, tiny bit every time. And up and back. How we doing? And up. And we'll do one more. So toes turned under, body's like a plank, and you're leaning backwards, finding that edge. And then reach. Good, release and come down. Straighten one leg and just let it release. And straighten the other leg and let it release. And then when you're ready, find plank pose. Just like we did before, lift your hips up a little. Take your tailbone and your belly engagement. And then find your plank pose. Breathing. Next part is optional. You can stay here and be steady, or you can exhale, bring your knee to your chest. And when you do that, lift your knee up and then go back to plank. Exhale, knee up and back to plank. Exhale, knee up and back to plank. One more each leg. Knee up. Notice I'm not going back and forth out of dog. And up. And now find downward facing dog or child's pose if you need it. This is a release move. All right. Let's take your knees to the floor for a second. The next movement is similar, so I want you to just come off your hands. So we're combining upper body, lower body, and core body in these moves. We just did a little bit more focus to the core. Now we're going to add rotation. I'm going to show you on tabletop so you can have this as an option. So come to table. You're going to turn, let's do your right leg first. Take your right leg back and turn the toe open. We did this when we were beginning. So the toe is facing outward. You're going to bring your knee to your chest and on purpose, take your knee across to the other elbow. So now you're internally rotated. Back and up. Toes are out. In and crisscross. Back and up. One more time. In and crisscross. And then rest. If you like doing it on your arms, on your knees, and you want more height, put blocks underneath your hands. That'll help. Take your leg back, other leg, turn it sideways so that your hip is open. Remember not to lean over in the standing leg. You're gonna exhale, knee to chest, and crisscross your other arm. Inhale, toe open and up. Exhale, crisscross, touch. Last time. And exhale, crisscross, touch. Good. All right, we're gonna try that from dog pose, or you can do it again here. I'm gonna go to dog. Feet are closer together. And I want you to lift your right leg up and turn the right leg sideways, lift it as high as you can. Exhale, float to plank. Knee crisscrosses the body and goes to the other elbow. Inhale, go back up, toes wide. Exhale, crisscross, touch. Inhale, toes wide. Last time, exhale, crisscross, downward facing. Take a breath in the middle. And then we're going to lift the left leg up, turn it sideways, lift it as high as you can. Crisscross underneath your body, touch opposite arm. Reach and turn it open and knee to chest and arm. One more time. Lift, crisscross, touch, and downward facing. Yes, that was hard. Walk your feet as wide as you can to the mat. Walk your hands backwards, get off your hands. Now here, bend your knees, turn your hands upside down so your fingers are pointing backwards and the backs of your hands are on the floor. And try to stretch open all of your fingers. So bend your knees as you need to so that the backs of your hands can touch the floor. And if this is impossible, I would highly recommend that you work with it. Press your middle finger down on the mat as much as you can. Straighten your arms as much as you can. And then let it release. Drop your hips down, look forward. Inhale, come all the way to standing, arms overhead. And hands to heart. Good, come to Tadasana. Palms down, take the moment to pause. We're on purpose trying to move the density of the body in a way that we open up the tissues so there's flow, right? Not just flow in the physical body, but flow in the internal body. And so just notice your breathing here. Mine's a little higher. It really doesn't matter how conditioned I am. My breath is always a little challenged here. And I just think my own personal constitution doesn't love being up at this high in the elevation all the time. So it'll be interesting to see how I feel when I come back. Okay, so now we're going to go to heavy weights. We're going to do a standing series with the heavy weights. Now, if you're not into heavy weights, please use the light ones again. Take your feet wide apart. We did this in the beginning. Soften your knees. Now, if your legs are tired, don't go into a deep bend. Just do a little baby bend. It's goddess pose. If you're stronger and you want deeper, go down. Now turn your hands upside down and lay them on your legs. So we're going to just curl to the shoulder, bicep curl, and then lower back down. Now you can keep your legs steady, or you can actually work them. So when I curl the next time, I'm going to sit a little deeper, and then when I release, I'm going to stand back up. So you can do it this way, or you can just hold steady. I want you to keep a hold of your pelvic floor and your lower abs. And your spine is like sliding along a wall. I'm not leaning forward. Nice and slow. Curl to your shoulders. My hands are externally rotated, so my shoulders are on my back body. Okay, I'm going to add another piece here. So find a neutral position. Don't go all the way down. Hands are here. You're going to push overhead. Come back in and release. Do it one more time without moving the legs. Push overhead. Now, only if you're ready, squat, push overhead, in, and release. Squat. This is no joke, so don't do it if you're struggling in your neck. Keep a taller leg. Don't squat so deeply. And I'm going to do it that way myself because I'm starting to notice my own shoulders getting a little aggravated, I'll call that. One more time. So up, push, in, and pause. Now, remember that posture we were in before, the hips are down, they're low, and you're gonna come forward, rest on your forearms for a minute, and check out your feet that they're following the same direction as your knees. Now you see how low you are to the floor. I want you to see if you can stay here. And you're gonna put your weights toward the floor. They may not touch. And you're gonna row one arm and then the other arm. And one arm and the other arm. So I'm not quite touching the floor. I need a block, really. And go from one arm to two now for the last four. Squeeze. Two, this is no joke. You should be low on your legs. 3 and 4. Put your weights on the floor, straighten your legs up, and square your feet. Take a moment to just go side to side, releasing any tension. Alrighty, so bend your left knee now, pivot around so that you're in a high lunge. Take your left arm to the sky. So we're in that twisted lunge again. Big breath here. Exhale, hand down, and before we switch sides, put your knee on the mat. Left hand on your left thigh, take your right arm up. Push your knee forward. Take your hand into your knee as you're trying to lift your rib cage up and away from your knee. So in your mind, find a fascial stretch all the way up the front line of your body. Good. Release and come down. Pick up your back knee and pivot back to center. Feet are square. Take a breath in the middle. And then we're going to pivot. So bending your now right knee. Pivot around to your right. And take your right arm to the sky. Breathing. Keep lifting your back leg. Exhale, hand to the mat. Knee to the floor. Right hand on your right thigh. And as you start to come up, think push into your thigh with your hand to keep your legs in alignment so you don't want to back up here. You'll lose it. And then lift your pinky finger up and back. See if you can find this fascial line up the front of this side of the body now. The more you push and the more your knee drops forward, the more you're going to find it. Big breath here. Exhale, release. Take your front foot back. Rest in child's pose. Well, I look at I forgot to bring my clock, my timer. Yep. I have a little bit of an internal body clock that I can usually tell what time it is in the class. Okay. Take a breath here, and then you're going to come forward, starting in tabletop here. Hips are right over knees. And then from here, walk, see where your hands are. So if my hands are right under my shoulders, I'm going to take my hands one hand distance forward again, like I did before in the beginning. Spin your arms so that your elbow points to the floor, and you're just going to lower yourself down and push yourself up. Lower yourself down and push yourself up. So if it feels too easy, you shift your weight more forward. So you walk more forward, you come into this plank-like position and work here. Okay, I'm going to stay back a little. And you got to find your sweet spot. Elbows are gently landing on the floor. You don't plop. And they land right in line with your wrists and shoulders. Fingertips are active. And if you can feel this, it should be in the back of your arm and up into your shoulders. One of the weakest places in women is our arms. Last two. And up. Shoulders down your back. Last one. And up. And now stay down on your elbows. You can turn your hands together or you can leave them flat on the floor. We're gonna take the legs back for a forearm plank again. And we're gonna play here for a moment. So we're gonna drop the hips down, exhale, pull the belly and lift yourself back up. Inhale, come forward and toward the floor. Exhale, belly lifts and comes back up. 2 more. 1 more. And up. Good. Let your hips come all the way to the floor. Point your toes. Stay here in Sphinx or come up into seal again. Breathing. Now, wherever you are, let your feet be a little wider. And I want you to turn and see if you can see your right foot over your right shoulder. And then come up and look over your left shoulder, see if you can see your left foot. And just go back and forth. You can do this in seal, or you can do it in Sphinx. Elbows on the mat. We're working on rotation and lateral body here. Just opening it up. Noticing if one side feels tighter than the other. Last one. Good. And then lower yourself to the mat. Take a pause here, head on your hands. Take your bring your legs closer together and bring your right foot towards your buttocks. Leave your left hand under your head, reach around with your right hand, see if you can find your foot. Draw the pubic bone to the floor and draw the foot toward the buttocks at the same time. Elbow, if your arm is bending, goes to the ceiling. Keep your pubic bone anchored to the floor. And if you like, you can press yourself up a little bit away from the mat so you're in a little baby back bend. And if you're doing that, push your foot away from you so that it helps you lift. And then exhale, pull your foot towards you as you lower your head. Inhale, push the foot away and lift the shoulders. And exhale, lower down. 1 more time. Flossing through the knees, the front of the leg. Exhale, hold at the bottom. And again, if your elbow is bending, it needs to go to the ceiling. And then let everything release. Switch your sides. Left foot bend, knee bends. Reach around with your left hand. Pull the pubic bone to the floor as you pull your foot towards your buttocks. Both things. It's both and, not one or the other. So my hips want to hop up because I'm tight here. So I have to keep reminding my body, pelvis down, pelvis down. And then go ahead and see if you want to lift on this side, pushing your foot away from you so that your arm is straight and your foot is away from your body. And then exhale, bring your foot towards your buttocks and lower down. Push away, lifting up, and pull and lowering down. 1 more. It's a strong flossing move here to work on the fascial line in the front of the leg. Hold at the bottom. Elbow to the sky if your elbow's bending. And then slow and careful release. And pause again on your hands resting. Okay. We're going to roll over onto our backs. Keep your weights close to you. And as we're on our backs, just do a reset, pick your pelvis up and put it back down. Maybe rock your pelvis a couple of times. Now, your choice for the weights are yours. I'm going to use a heavier weight because I know I can. We're going to work in a big open action and crisscross again, like we did when we were standing, only now we're upside down. So you need room to move your arms outward away from your body. Your feet are going to just stay quiet. Legs are quiet, spine is quiet. And then bring your weight straight up over your chest. Touch them together, hand to hand. And then from here, you're going to take the arms straight out towards the wall. See if you can get to the floor. And then bring them up, crisscross them over each other and touch your outer shoulder. Elbows should be facing the ceiling. Up open, close, crisscross. So do this so that it's challenging. We won't build muscle if we use little baby weights all the time. Only if you've got an injury is that okay? And if I were working with you, I'd, personally, I'd be finding something else for you to do that you could use the muscles more appropriately. After class, I don't know if you've already eaten breakfast. If you have, I hope you ate a lot of protein. If you didn't, please have some after class. Don't wait. Your body, your mitochondria needs the protein after workout. That's been my challenge, right? Because I'm a light breakfast time eater. I don't usually eat until later, but I can't when I do this. All right, one more time. Open and crisscross. Good. All right, set one weight down. You can use one weight or no weights. I'm going to hold my hands around my one weight, and I'm going to take my ankles and crisscross them and put them on the floor. Take your arms over your head. Let the weight just rest on the floor end to end, not flat down. So from here, you're going to exhale, belly down, back down, lift your legs up like you're trying to touch the wall over your head. Back down. Lift, exhale. Back down. One more time like that. Exhale. Now to add more oomph to this, you're going to add the arms. So you're going to lift up and reach towards your feet. Come back down, everything touches. Reach up towards your feet. Back down. Elbows are soft, knees are soft. Okay, pause at the bottom. Change the cross of your ankles. And do 5 more. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Take your time, don't rush. If it feels too hard, get rid of the weight. Exhale. One more time. Use your belly first before you lift. And rest. Good. Let that weight rest on the floor. Take your arms open. Separate your feet and let your knees swish side to side. Wide feet means you get into your inner hip sockets. Get that full range of motion all the way around, internally and externally. And as we were talking about in the beginning, the sitting action that we all do too much of really compromises the functionality of the hips and the lower back. Good, and release. All right, one more thing. Feet are going to be in neutral, but I want your feet wider apart on purpose. And you're going to take 1 or 2 weights. We're going to work with the triceps one more time. So again, I can do 2 because I know I can. If I'm doing 2, I'm going to cross them over each other and hold them as 1. Or you can put them end to end, side to side, or hold 1 weight. Weights to the ceiling. Bend the elbows so that the weights just touch the floor right over your head. And then when you push up, push through your feet, lift your bottom up. So wide-legged bridge pose. Lower down, touch the floor, push up, and squeeze. Lower down, neck is not on the floor, push up and squeeze. Lower down, push. Stay a little bit alert in your lower belly and lower back, so you don't want to overarch that area. It's really more about the back of the leg and the back of the arm. Exhale, push. And this feels different with your feet apart and your toes turned out than if you do traditional bridge pose. We're in more of the outer, dense part of the buttocks and hips. Last 2. Remember, we've been playing with moving the density, feeling the density of our physical body. This time, bring your weights to your chest, bring your body to the floor, set your weights off to the side, and let your knees go side to side. And then we play with this density in the body that's full of muscles and bones and organs, with the freedom and the flow of the breath and the prana. It's both and, not either or. Good, come to center. Bring your legs back over each other, center, and then ankle crosses over. Let's do right ankle over left knee. And then with your shoulders and neck quiet, bring your legs towards you, hold somewhere, flexing both feet. Breathing. Alrighty. Go ahead and lower your left foot back down on the floor, but keep this cross as it is. We're going to go to the left. So I want you to rock your hips over. First, take them over to the right, and then let your legs go over to the left. See if your foot will touch the floor. If you can get a hold of your foot, grab your ankle and roll your right shoulder open and back. So right arm out, right shoulder down, right knee to the ceiling. The important front body stretch for the chest, armpit, obliques, right down into the inner hip. Take one more breath. And then slowly bring yourself back up. Put your hips back in the middle and uncross. Other side, left ankle over right knee, bringing the legs towards you, holding wherever you can, trying to keep your shoulders and your neck quiet. Breathing into anything that you're noticing. Go ahead and lower your right foot to the floor, hop your hips over to the left, and let your legs go to the right, landing your left foot flat on the floor if you can. A block underneath your foot is helpful. If you got a hold of that ankle, you're going to keep it in place better. Knee goes to the sky, left arm shoulder opens to the mat. Make sure you stretch away your left arm. And then breathe into this side, armpit, chest, ribs, obliques. And if you in your body, you notice that you're tighter on one side, that's a reality. Your fascia is a little bit bound up on that side. So you spend more time there. Maybe do it twice. So I noticed my right side's way tighter than my left. So I would do my right side again if I were doing my own class. You can use the same analogy. Go ahead and release and come back up. Put your hips back in the middle, uncross your legs. Bring both knees to your chest. If you like, pick your head up. Give it a good squeeze. And then relax. Bring your knees together and your feet apart and take your hands on your body. So you can touch chest and belly or just belly. It doesn't matter to me, just touching your own body. And as you're inhaling and exhaling, I want you to start to notice this flow, this energy. And it might feel a little edgy because you've been working out, or maybe you've had caffeine, or maybe you're hungry or thirsty. But as best as you can, see if you can smooth it out so that the breath itself feels not tense or rigid or jagged. And now start to count to 4, your own personal count on the inhale and 4 counts on the exhale. Once you start to smooth the breath out, now you can even it out. Inhaling 4 counts. And exhaling 4 counts. And again, everybody's count is a little different. I want you to think about extending the breath just a tiny bit. I don't want it to be like 1, 2, 3, 4. Try to go slower, try to extend it a little bit. And then once you have that, I want you to start to think about a pause at the top of your inhale and a pause at the bottom of your exhale. The pause is like the ocean wave where it comes up onto the land and there's this momentary pause before it goes back out into the ocean. This is what I'm talking about, not a hold. And if it starts to feel hard, you're probably working it too hard, just soften everything. Four counts, inhale, pause. 4 counts, exhale and pause. Do 3 more rounds. Telling the body, telling the nervous system that we're coming back into homeostasis, coming into balance. After your 3rd round, you can move yourself into Shavasana. Legs can go down. Maybe you're going to prop them up. Maybe you put a blanket over the top of your body. Arms are open, palms are up. Let your legs and your arms be away from your body so the energy can flow in and around you. We'll rest here for the last few minutes. Once you're down and you feel like you're ready, take a nice deep breath. Let the exhale soften you into the earth, signaling to your body that the muscles are done working. The body can rest, coming into stillness. Take a longer and deeper breath. Gently start to stretch and move, bringing yourself back into your body. When you feel ready, you can bend your knees and roll to a side. And slowly bring yourself up to sitting. Once you're seated, just pause for a moment. Noticing the physical body and the energy body. Do they feel a little more integrated? Like there's spaciousness in the physical body and there's deeper awareness to the internal energy breath body. Again, it's not either or, it's both and they're integrated all the time. But it is hard when we're dense and we're sticky to even be able to notice the flow. Bring your hands together at your heart. In gratitude for our time together on the mat, as always, our deep body wisdom and guiding light. May our light always shine brightly, and may we always see the light in each other. Namaste.